the whole political realm is currently abuzz. And it's kind of because of Trump, but kind of not because of Trump. This is because of 2024. Now, we all know that Trump is running for president. He actually announced it. I actually reacted to his announcement speech on my stream. But this is not about Donald Trump. It's about someone who actually used to be inside of his cabinet. Not literally, but figuratively. We're talking about Nikki Haley, who has recently announced that she is running for president. Now, Nikki Haley has been, a favorite of many Republicans to run for president for years. But I don't think that her candidacy will succeed, and I'll go over why after digging into this article a little bit. Nikki Haley, former South Carolina governor, who also served in the Trump administration, is preparing to run for president in 2024. In 2021, Haley said that she wouldn't run for president, Trump ran again, but recently deviated from a typical line, calling for a new generation of leadership in the Republican Party in an appearance on Fox News that she later posted on Twitter, which is fair. This is January 20th, after all of the horrendous Trump picks, from the midterm picks that, went like 50-50, more or less, to Kevin McCarthy, who barely made it into political office there and into the seat that he so desperately wanted. Here's a clip of Nikki Haley on Hannity.
Let's talk about 2024. I know you were on with Brett Baer earlier this week. It looks like you're running. I suspect you're running. I don't know for sure, but if you want to make your announcement now, I think a lot of people would be happy. Are you thinking about it?
As fun as it would be to announce right now, yes, we are.
I just got rejected. Go ahead.
We are leaning in. I mean, look, it is time for a new generation. It is time for more leadership. It is time for the fact that we really start to take our country back. We cannot have another term of Joe Biden. And we have to remember, too, we have lost the last 7 out of 8 popular votes for president. It is time that we get a Republican in there that can lead and that can win a general election.
Let me ask.
So what she's saying there, if you read between the lines, she's not saying that she's for president, but she's saying that Trump is not the guy. Sources are telling all the mainstream news media individuals and entities that Nikki Haley's running for president. So it's pretty much, it's pretty well known that, yes, Nikki Haley's going to be running for president. But here's the thing. I don't think that Nikki Haley will be able to win. And I don't think it's because 3 dudes, accused her of, having affairs with him. No, that's not it. There's a whole different situation that I think will probably throw a wrench into all of this. Nikki Haley actually, throughout the 2010s, was going on a nice political streak. She was gaining popularity slowly. That's actually how she got her name to be one of the favorites of eventual GOP presidents in the future. However, there's one incident that kind of knocked her down a peg, and it kind of went under the radar, but it put in some distrust in Nikki Haley. And I think if she runs again, this is a story that will resurface and come back to haunt her, just like Bridgegate came back to haunt Chris Christie. This is from 2018, so 5 years ago. Enough time for everyone to forget about it. Nikki Haley's resignation comes one day after an ethics watchdog requested an investigation into her acceptance of free flights on private jets. So it sounds like some quid pro quo nonsense. Now, I will say that Trump's presidency, combined with some of the things that the left and the mainstream news media have said about him, true or false, I think have sort of dulled the American senses to being sensitive about this sort of thing. So maybe there won't be as much backlash to this as I'm expecting. But I do think that there will be enough backlash from this story resurfacing during the campaign as people do opposition research. I think it's going to knock her campaign a considerable amount. Let's see. The United Nations ambassador Nikki Haley's resignation on Tuesday came one day after an ethics watchdog group requested the State Department Inspectors General investigate her acceptance of 7 free flights. I'm just going to say, if we're only looking at the optics, it really looks like Nikki Haley's like, man, I gotta get out of Dodge. This is bad news. I am out. I'm not sticking around for no investigation. If you did nothing wrong, I would see no reason to run away. But that's literally what she did. The instant she got accused of this, she left. So, in my opinion, there's something to this. Maybe some opposition research is going to figure out what was at the bottom of this. Because once she resigned, the story was basically done. No one really dug too much farther into this. And maybe that's why she resigned. Let's see here. Haley, the former governor of South Carolina, listed the flights on her 2017 financial disclosure and asserted that each qualified for an exemption based on her relationships with the businessman. Not those type of relationships. But the group, Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics in Washington, said in its complaint that Haley's financial disclosure did not provide enough information to make the assertion that the flights between New York, Washington, D.C. and the 3 South Carolina cities qualified for the exemption. Those flights were most likely worth tens of thousands of dollars. What kind of flights are you taking that are worth tens of thousands of dollars? It's crazy. It sounds here like she took these free flights and she didn't pay for them. She said as such, and she was like, "Oh, they were business trips," but then didn't prove that they were business trips. So I think that's a little bit problematic. And the fact that she resigned, I think, is a huge red flag. So I think personally that this will sink her campaign, especially since she left so quickly. I think that means that there's something to the accusations, and whatever is behind the accusations is going to come to light. Not looking good, but hey, I think she's gonna get deep into the primary race. I think it'll be probably when she's like in the top 5 before this even like rears its ugly head. So she has some time. She can be alert and think that this will never come up again. It'd be fun to watch the pandemonium. See who takes which side, because these serious issues, and I just wonder if everyone's gonna take it seriously or not.